Okay, people. So I've just got round to checking out the Retaliators. Right, I've been horrendously ill for the last few weeks, so some things just it was difficult getting stuff out. But yeah, so apologies, Justin. But I checked out the Retaliators, people. This is the new film from Samuel Gonzalez Jr., Michael Lombardi, and Bridget Smith. It was written by Darren Geare and Jeff Allen Geare. The film is then produced by Lombardi and Alan Kovac, along with Mike Walsh, and line produced by Roy Korakan. Music is from Carl Dixon and Michael Steen. Joseph Hennigan handled the cinematography. Brady Bricker edited everything. Roz Fulton and Christine Cromer looked after the casting. Production design is Sean Saiger and Fernando Valdez. Art direction is Caitlin King. Costume design, Brittany Ann Cormack. Makeup, effects, all that jazz. We've got Michael Connor, Vincent J. Gustini, Alfredo Howard Keck, Shannon Ray Mulligan, Casey Mussman, and Orr Mussman, and Eric Yoder. And our cast, people. Well, Michael Lombardi is also starring in the film as oh shit, what is homie's name in this? So Pastor John Bishop, that's correct. Pastor John Bishop. I mean, it is a little on the nose. You know what I mean? He's got two daughters. There's Sarah, played by Katie Kelly, and Rebecca, the younger one, played by Abby Haffer. His wife, who, yeah, I think we see in flashbacks and whatnot, is played by Megan Noon. And his sister, Aunt Judy, is played by Cree Kelly. We've then got detective, right? Jed Sawyer, right? He is played by Mark Menchaca. Now, who best? Well, let's go with Quinn Brady, who is played by Jacoby Shaddix, right? There's Ram Caddy, played by Joseph Gatt. We've got Vic, played by Ivan L. Moody. Fang, played by Zoltan Bafaroy. Tommy Lee is a strip club DJ. We got Arlo Garcia, played by Craig Mabbitt. Got Max, played by Spencer Carnas. Arlo is played by Brian Alvarez. Officer Kelly is played by Dominic Costa. Police officer, there's another police officer, Brian Gallagher. Erica is played by Amanda Leiberg, right? Okay, Cynthia, who I think Cynthia is friggin' Jed's wife, right? She is played by Gigi Gustin. Got April, played by Corey Graham. Debbie, played by Shannon Wilson. I think there are major people, really. I feel right. I feel that's right. You know, there's a lot of people because this film also features a whole heap of musicians, right? So I mean, you probably recognize some of those names. Now, some of the other people involved, Chris Kale, Geare, Amanda Leiberg, Matt Brandyberry, Danny Case, Lance Doodle, and Matt Midrio, Corey Marks, Dan Murphy, Miles Franco. Yeah, they're also involved. I don't know the bands. So you know what I mean? I mean, there's probably a lot of people that watch this and be like, oh my gosh, that's thingy. I have no clue, people, tell you the truth. But yes, they are all in it. Now, the film tells the story of an upstanding pastor, right? John Bishop, an upstanding pastor whose faith is tested when he uncovers a dark and twisted underworld while searching for answers surrounding the brutal murder of his daughter. Which I don't know if we can really say he uncovers a dark and twisted underworld, right? He comes across some grimy ass shit for sure. Dark and twisted underworld, I'm not sure about that one. But we start off right with a couple of girls driving, and then one of them's like, oh, I think we should go down this road. I think let's take this, which, you know, it never ends well, right? Many a film has started this way. Many a horrible situation has started this way. So we have that, right? And, you know, they're driving, and then all of a sudden, now it's basically nighttime. They get a flat tire. So one of the girls gets out to deal with it. Right? So she's dealing with it, and we see someone run across the road. She hears noises, and she's looking around. You know, now the thing that gets me in this whole scenario is, firstly, I feel if you're driving and you're girls, you're not going to be looking to take some silly routes, because this kind of, it's not just been reported in films, but it's in real life. You know what I mean? I feel, look, there's always going to be one or two dum-dums, but on the most part, girls are looking to be sensible. You know what I mean? Doing these sorts of things. And then if it's dark, you'd have thought the other girl would be out the car holding a torch, right? Or if not, in the car, window down, talking to her friend. But it's just like, fuck her. She can, you know what I mean? Which, that whole thing just seemed odd. But yeah, so girl gets grabbed, and it's just like, yo, so these zombies are out here and everything's going crazy. And then a guy, you know, a monster comes for the girl in the car. Then someone chops his head off, and he kind of breaks down the situation a little bit, right? But then he disappears. He gets grabbed and disappeared. And then we jump to church, right? And do we jump to church? No, we go to a dad with his daughters. I feel it was the dad and his daughters in the Christmas tree, getting a Christmas tree. Or we might have gone to church and seen him as a part. I forget. But we've got these different scenarios. No, we've got therapy. We're there. There's a therapy session. One of those in therapy session. Like, there's a lot going on. Right? We jump around in these different timelines of this story, which it's not necessarily confusing, but it could have been handled slightly better, I feel. you know it's yeah, there's a lot of things that go down in the Retaliators that you do feel is a little obvious. Like, you'd be like, well, yes, obviously, right? When the daughter, and it's no surprise because it's in the synopsis, he's searching for the killer of his daughter, right? So when the oldest is like, I want to go to a party, and he finally is like, fine, you can go, gives her a curfew, right? It's either going to go two ways. She's going to go crazy, or something's going to happen where she was doing nothing, right? So you kind of feel, yeah, there's two scenarios here which could occur. And then as soon as we, like, this one thing happens, then where this bit will be going, right? But a lot, like, we get into certain points, but before we've got to that point, there's already been some sort of craziness has happened. So it's just kind of like piecing the bits together to see where everything falls into place. That's essentially what this is at times, which is fine, but you are left, because, after seeing all the zombies at the beginning, you are like, how do we get to that? Like, what's gonna create that? Because we have nothing so far that's getting us to that bit, right? There's this whole, like, motorcycle drug gang kind of beef thing all going down, which feels a little bit just it's a bit much, right? Is it because it's just like, this was unsanctioned, what's happening? You know what I mean? Like, all of this is happening, and on top of all of this, we're then getting flashbacks from the policeman, right? Jed Sawyer. We're getting his flashbacks to, like, what things that have happened to him, why he's like, the way he is when he goes to speak to John. There's a lot happening, right? And you're seeing this stuff, and it's just kind of, it's very gnarly. It's very gnarly, right? But special effects are very good, right? Everyone involved with that needs to give themselves a big round of applause, because to show, like, a gun shell through the face, like, you're looking at it and you're just like, yo, what the fuck? This is insane, right? Looks super realistic. I mean, I say that, I've not seen that shit in real life, but looking at it, you'd be like, oh, yeah, I think that's what it must look like, right? I feel, you know what I mean? I don't necessarily want a first-hand experience, but I feel that's what it should look like. So special effects were just crazy. And the acting was very good. No shade on the acting. The acting was freaking solid. Freaking Lombardi is John Bishop, compelling, was likable, you know. He's, as a pastor, he is he's one of the cool ones, gets rock bands playing in his church, right? He's one of these cats. uh, Mark Menchea as Jed, Detective Jeb said, really good, really good. Um, Vic, right? Vic Caddy was very menacing, like very menacing. I, I mean, the whole thing with that side of things is, what's the motive? Because everything just kind of went all over the place. So there is that, and we've got the his brother Ram, right, who's again really good. Like, the acting was solid. The girls, Sarah and Rebecca, John's daughters, both handled their thing very well. Like, Tommy Lee did seem like a convincing friggin' strip club DJ. So everyone involved was very good. You know. Oh, talking about I mentioned special effects earlier. There's a bit with an eye, which oh oh fuck. Then also, like, we get blood all over. There's a bit when this blood is just pooling in the closed eyes, and it's just like, oh man, that's so gnarly. Just, I mean, obviously it's not real blood, but just having to do that scene, and it'd be like, right, we're gonna pour the stuff on your face. You know what I mean? All right, action, and you have to be just feel. Ah, it must be just dreadful. It must be fucking dreadful. So the vibe of the film is really good. The acting, really good. Special effects, really good. I think, right, if you are a fan of this music, you'll dig it, because I was like, yeah, it's a catchy beat, right? It's not necessarily always my look, and it's like there is some rock and stuff that I do jam to. You feel me? But I'm not fully like Motley Crue, Five Finger Death Punch. I mean, they're not really my thing, right? I'm not rocking to that stuff, but as I said, if you were a fan of the music, I think you'd probably dig the soundtrack and the music used within the film and all of that kind of jam, right? It's just the story's a bit all over the place, right? And the ending, it gets fully crazy. Like, it's one of those, when you see them they do those things in films, right? And a character will pick up something very uh obnoxious, not obnoxious. Um, Fuck my words. Where have they gone? Uh, it feels it's very insignificant, right? And it's just like, why would they be picking that up? But that means that thing is gonna play a part in the film later on. You know what I mean? It's always a thing, and be like, hey, nice new knife. And be like, yeah, I don't really bring it out. I just leave it on the side here. And then later in the film, there's a big fight, and they're in the room, and he's got no weapons. He's falling back, and you see his hand go towards the side, and you're like, okay, he's gonna grab the knife, and that's how he survives. There is some of that, right? A chipper, and just there's these things that we see, and you're like, okay, that's gonna get used, and it does get used, right? But which is kind of corny, but the effect, it did look very good, right? It did look like, and you're just like, oh fuck, man. Come on, no, I need to see that. Oh shit, and losing teeth, and just there's some gnarly shit, but it did look good. So although the story is a little bit like that, there is some satisfaction, right? There is there's these scenes, and people get their comeuppance and all bits and bobs like that, and you're just like, you know what, I knew that was coming. But yeah, still, yeah. You know what I mean? You were still like, and that's especially like, there's a scene at the very end, how it's now going to play out because it's kind of a reflection of a scene earlier in the film. So you know what's going to happen, but it did kind of feel good when it did, you know? So although the Retaliators is a little cheesy, a little, man, it's 40 damn, right? It's cheesy as a motherfucker. Effects and acting, very good. Music, you're going to probably dig it if you like that thing. So I will say, for this kind of revenge horror kind of thing, it's cheesy, but it's satisfying, right? So if you're looking for something to watch, you want to get a little bloody, you want to get a little crazy, and while doing it, you want to listen to some rock, then people, the Retaliators is probably for you. And guess what? You can also buy the soundtrack. So I'm gonna put all the links to that stuff in the episode. So yeah, people, go have some Retaliators fun. All right.